Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. On June 5th of this year, Miguel Cotto is going to gain weight to challenge light middleweight champion Yuri Foreman for his title at 154 pounds. Now understand, Miguel Cotto just fought Manny Pacquiao at 147 pounds. Also, Miguel Cotto was the champion at 140 pounds before becoming the champion at 147. So Miguel Cotto is going to enter the light middleweight division, and he's going to fight Yuri Foreman, and he's going to do it before a predominantly Puerto Rican crowd in Madison Square Garden on June 5th, right before a Puerto Rican holiday. Even though Yuri Foreman is from New York City, I'm expecting the crowd to be a pro Miguel Cotto crowd. Now, all of that said, given that Yuri Foreman has not knocked out anyone since 2006, I'm expecting Miguel Cotto to be favored in this fight. Now, that said, my prediction is that the upset happens. I believe that Yuri Foreman is going to beat Miguel Cotto, and I believe Foreman is going to defend his title. It's all based on styles. Um, in my book, I discuss my reservations about Miguel Cotto. I believe that Yuri Foreman's style matches up very well with Miguel Cotto. Cotto is a southpaw who fights out of an orthodox stance. Now, just like in the Manny Pacquiao fight, that causes Cotto to not move well because, as NFL place kickers know, as anyone who's played soccer knows, you not only are left or right-handed, you're not only left-hand dominant or right-hand dominant, but you're also left foot dominant and right foot dominant. In other words, think about it. Just like NFL kickers kick with the same leg, your footwork in the ring will determine your mobility. How you plant your dominant foot, how you're able to lean off of it will determine whether you can catch up to a mobile fighter. Now, Yuri Foreman is not only the bigger man, and we're not talking about just weight, right? Foreman is 154. Cotto's gaining weight to get to 154. But understand that Miguel Cotto is 5'7", and Yuri Foreman is 5'11". In other words, he's the much taller man, and of course he's acclimated at 154. But Yuri Foreman is also the much more mobile man. In fact, Yuri Foreman is, in my opinion, and it's controversial, but in my opinion, Yuri Foreman effectively is as mobile as Manny Pacquiao. So I'm expecting Miguel Cotto to have a hard time getting around the ring on Yuri Foreman. Let me also make a point. And I understand there are two split decisions in Yuri Foreman's past. I understand he hasn't knocked out anyone for 4 years. There's a difference between a lack of punching power and the fighter who chooses to have a lack of punching power. Now, Yuri Foreman, in my opinion, if he wanted to, could sit down on his punches and could punch a lot harder. In fact, Yuri Foreman, at key points of his recent fight, his title fight against Daniel Santos, a fighter who beat Margarito twice, right? A fighter who, or rather, fought Margarito twice and never lost to Margarito. Daniel Santos was a legitimate champion. Daniel Santos had a pretty good chin on him. He fought many fighters with big punches and really didn't get dropped like he got dropped against Yuri Foreman. And it was interesting because Foreman has kind of like Ali type power where he's so fast in terms of his footwork that fighters, as they're coming forward trying to get to him, then get hit when they least expect it. So Foreman actually has effective power. He chooses instead to be a boxer, not a fighter. I believe that he's going to force Miguel Cotto to chase him all around the ring, and I believe Cotto is going to get tangled up because since he's a southpaw fighting out of an orthodox stance, his feet just aren't geared. They don't move well enough for him to actually keep up with Yuri Foreman. Now, let me make a point. I understand that Paulie Malignaggi is viewed as a mobile fighter and that he fought Miguel Cotto and lost to Miguel Cotto, right? Malignaggi is probably the most mobile fighter to ever fight Miguel Cotto other than Manny Pacquiao. You'll notice, though, in that fight that Malignaggi, who at times has used the wrong strategy in specific fights, for example, I thought he fought a very poor fight against Ricky Hatton. You'll notice that against Miguel Cotto, Paulie Malignaggi, incredibly, is actually the pursuer in that fight for several rounds. He doesn't force Cotto to actually chase after him, right? He's actually the one pursuing Cotto. At the time, they were both undefeated fighters. When Cotto starts to land on Malignaggi, Malignaggi backs off a little bit, but is still right in front of Cotto's face. Think about some of Cotto's other fights. Antonio Margarito, Joshua Clottey. These were excellent fighters, but they're right in front of him. My point to you, Ricardo Torres, excellent fight, but again, right in front of him. Even a great boxer like Carlos Quintana was right in front of Miguel Cotto. None of those guys has the fluidity, the foot movement, the below the waist action of Yuri Foreman. Let me also say this about Yuri Foreman. Don't be fooled by the level of competition he has fought. He beat an excellent champion in Daniel Santos. I understand Santos only fought once a year. Still, highly skilled fighter. I think Santos gave Foreman a harder fight than Miguel Cotto is going to give him. Yuri Foreman fought in the New York City Golden Gloves. He fought against top flight competition like Luis Collazo, for example. If you do a YouTube search, you're going to find out that Foreman has fought many elite fighters. If you look at his professional resume, it might look sparse, but if you add in his amateur career, Foreman actually is very experienced. I believe that Foreman takes this fight. This is a fight between a light middleweight and a welter. The problem, too, with Cotto is the extra weight is going to further slow him down. He wasn't that mobile against Manny Pacquiao, a fight we predicted Pacquiao would win. At 147, I believe he's going to be even less mobile against Yuri Foreman. And Foreman also knows that Miguel Cotto is, in essence, a one-handed fighter, right? His right hand, which he keeps cocked, really isn't that effective. So since Foreman himself has advanced boxing skills, I believe he neutralizes Cotto's left hand. I believe he forces Cotto to follow him around the ring. Then I believe he's going to blister Cotto with excellent counter punches until Cotto, in essence, either gets stopped or loses a decision. I like Yuri Foreman in this fight. I'm calling the upset. Let me know what you think, and as I always say, if I'm wrong, punish me in the ratings here on YouTube, but if I'm right, give me 5 stars. Please leave your comments for us here on YouTube and at gamblersadvisory.com. Thanks for watching.